Okay, third in the series for guild-specific guides. Yet again, reiterate if this is the third one. Sorry, it's getting a bit boring now, but you know, this isn't a guide for how to kill this boss. This is a guide for how to integrate yourself with our guild group who've already killed the boss. If you perhaps haven't, or if you haven't done it in this way, we have some mad tactics. Mad! So obviously we are assuming that you know the mechanics of the fight. We're probably assuming you have seen the odd kill video, but you just want to see how we do it, and I've put out a few pointers there. Okay. So Fell Lord, big old single target fight. Ring will be used on the pull, and quite a lot of differences really to Mythic in the way it's executed. So range will be stacked at a particular point. Watch out for that. You will be assigned for rumbling fissures. So if you're in the first group to soak those, make sure you soak them. Do not step out until you've got the debuff. Don't think, well, the graphic's gone, it's fine. Wait until you've got the debuff. Once you've got the debuff, you need to move onto the tank. A green circle will appear around the tank. At this particular point, there you go. You need to be inside that to get sent into the other realm. You just need to avoid stuff. There isn't a great deal to avoid for the first group that goes in. This will remove your debuff, so when you come out, you'll be fine. But you will be told where you need to stand because you are going to release waves. Now, if you're outside and you don't have the debuff, you need to soak these waves if they would otherwise hit a pillar. If not, just cover. So I'm covering that. Don't want to absorb that because that's just... If you absorb a wave that wasn't going to hit anything awkward, then it's just damage you're taking for no good reason. The other thing about melee you'll notice was sort of on the right hand side here. The reason for that, if any melee get befouled, you can see someone on the left there. They stand at the entrance side of the boss so that they can still hit the boss and be out of range. They will get a radar, so if you're in that position, if you see anyone in your radar, just sort of tell them, call out the name of the class, something like that. Capitation, you just have to step into the boss's hitbox. You don't have to move around to the other side of him or anything like that. Just step into his hitbox, it won't hit you. You might be a mage, in which case you might be charged with soaking that with your evanescence nonsense. That's going to hit a pillar, so I'm going to soak that back onto the boss. Okay, Seeds of Destruction coming. I don't have a huge speed bonus, so I'm moving myself as close to him as I can. You will get a mark. You will get a weak aura from someone who'll give you a mark. I haven't got the debuff, so again, I'm going to cover the pillar here, make sure stuff gets soaked. Don't try and absorb these waves just in front of the pillar, because... it seems to take a little while to be absorbed, so make sure you do it a fair way from the pillar, because otherwise it'll still hit. Okay, so again, just sort of covering them. You might need a cooldown. If you've got a really good cooldown, you might be able to soak a couple. Keep an eye on your health. Don't go down to that sort of nonsense. So again, rumbling fissures up. From the third one, we do not go inside. So the first two groups, you stand on the green circle around the tank. From the third group onwards, you're stuck with your debuff. You're not going in. So don't stand on the tank at this point. All it means is do not stand in any more subsequent rumbling fissures, because that goes boom. Don't take any more wakes, because that goes boom. Don't do anything, because it all goes boom. Be very, very careful. Again, capitation, step in. Mage should be soaking that just in front of the ranged group. Again, it's just rinse and repeat at this point up until the final phase. Rumbling Fish, I'm going to take this. Now notice I'm going to be in it until I get the debuff. Don't care what the graphic looks like. Now I've got the debuff, now I can move back. I now have to be extremely careful. Alright, extremely careful. If I were to get Seeds of Destruction, I have to be extremely careful. No matter what happens, I have to be very, very careful. So once he gets below 30%, he will phase, and then everything will go off. The ring will get popped, heroism will get popped, you will pop everything, including second pots and all the rest of it. Go absolutely apeshit, burst this boss down quickly. A lot of people will have the debuff at this point, so we're shitting ourselves. If you don't have the debuff, soak wakes that will otherwise hit a pillar. If you are a person who has the debuff, so you're shitting yourself, still make sure you're going to be in position for seeds. Don't cock seeds up at this point. Then try and move yourself in a position where, like the other side of the boss, where you think someone might soak it, but don't assume they will soak it. So just avoid everything, run away from everything, because one big boom can actually wipe the whole raid. We've seen a few people die there because of a little boom, and just burst the boss down ASAP. It's all very intense, but it's a very short fight. Just for the benefit of having to deal with seeds, You'll get the marker above your head, get to that position, face that way. You're facing that way so that, because the position you face determines where these waves spring out from. Aerial view so that you can avoid them all and then get back into position. It's quite important to avoid them just so that you don't die. But if you had the debuff later in the fight, it's ultra important because then you're going to kill everyone else as well. So that's how we deal with siege. Just show you that again. So run, aim yourself facing towards that wall or back to the entrance. Avoid these. Job's a good one.